Hello, how are you all doing? It's the time for the Divine Masculine reading. I hope you're all doing well. And I have an announcement to make. Ta-da-na-na-na-na. For next week, I have 2 slots left. So if you're able and you want a Divine Masculine reading for yourself, for your Divine Masculine, I can channel his energy. So yeah, and connect with his higher self and where he's going, what he's doing, how he feels about you if you're in separation, and what's the effort you both need to make to get this relationship back in balance, or get back together, or you know move on. That's probably what a lot of feminine are feeling at the moment, that there is a shift going on, and that has to do with the day out of time, that has to do with the ending of the Mayan calendar year. So when we are releasing and leaving that space, and there's a new energy coming in, and for next year I think it's the electric galactic year that's coming in, the electric galactic seed, that was it, year is coming in. So all who are in the 5th dimensional realm already are going to make this huge shift towards higher frequencies, higher dimension, more consciousness, more what do you want in your life, what is the need, what you need in your life. And for the masculine is exactly the same. You know, the masculine wants to go from the roots, from the base, from the grounding. They're going up, you know, to the solar sun. So depends on who's around them in the space of the divine masculine. They're going to grow like the likeness with the speed of light. You know, they're going to grow with the speed of light in their spirituality, when they are with the conscious woman that they need in their life. Okay, so what is the divine masculine thinking, and where is he thinking of? And it's about creating visions, getting visions, meditation. Could be that he's going on a vision quest, you know, that he thinks, wow, you know, it's time for me to get my rest. It's time for me to retreat. It's time for me to do the things that I need to do, because everything else is distracting me of feeling. Everything else is distracting me of coming closer to my true authenticity, and is it's all distracting me to coming closer to my divine feminine, where my heart is. And I want to work with her. I want to you know, be free with her. You know, I want to have this freedom, the freedom of thinking, freedom of speech, freedom in my life. And I know this divine feminine ticks every box, you know, so I have to do my thing. So this is what he's going to do. He's going to seek space. He's going to seek rest. He's going to seek for nature. Maybe he's going to ask for visions. Okay. How does he see the divine feminine? As that she is all women in one. There is no other woman like her, because she's embodying the Empress. She is the Queen of Hearts. She is the Queen of Swords. She is the Queen of Pentacles. And she is the Queen of water and the air elements. So know that she has all the elements within her. She is carrying all the all the empresses in herself. So all the queens, all the 4 queens make her the empress. So she's embodying every one of them, you know, because all the elements are imbalanced. And that's what's in his heart space. And he's just observing it. He's observing every bit of it. You know, he sees her happy, he sees her joyful, he see her doing things on her own. And she is in this very independent space. And it also could be that he sees her liberated, you know, liberated of everything that no longer suits her, you know, and she's doing it in love, and she's doing it in compassion. There is no hatred, there is no animosity about leaving things behind, because she's in her love space. She's in that space of void. You know, if you're going in that space of nothingness, you know, in the space of being in the void, then there are no interferences of your ego. And that's what he's observing, that's what he's seeing. And that she's not afraid for a battle, you know. She showed that she was standing up in a battle, and in that battle she was standing up for herself, and that was he liked that. He liked that of her. He really liked that of her, that she was in this battle standing up for herself. And you know, and yeah, and that's done. I hear that's done, you know. So he's observing all the 4 elements, all the 4 queens of her aspect. He's observing it, and he is seeing this purity and this this light of her. That's what he sees. Beautiful. So what is in his heart space? Did I say that already? That's in his heart space. So let's see what his higher self is saying then. What is his higher self saying? How he feels, how he really feels. Because what the ego feels and what he really feels in his heart space, and what his higher self saying about what he really feels and what he really thinks about the divine feminine, that's a totally different thing. Because when the ego comes in, you know, it sabotages the relationship. But when the higher self comes in, you know, then you have the truth. Okay. His higher self is saying, give and receive. You know, this is what is going towards his divine feminine. I give you, you give me. There's equality. When you give to me, I will give to you. And there is no difference of, you know, it has to be the same amount, or you giving me more, so I have to give you more. No, it's just giving and receiving, as the divine feminine will be grateful for everything what she receives, because she knows when she gives, and she gives her energy that's more valuable to him than he's giving her presents or anything else. So it's more about yeah, keeping the balance going. That's what I hear. And it's also in the old Native American way. if you come with a present, you know, and you offer a present to someone you really like, you will always get something in return as an offer of their gratitude. So that is what's going on. That exchange is there, and it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. It's an emotional offer that the person is giving you. Okay, and it's coming from a good heart. And you always need to, you know, you always need to keep that in mind, that it's always, that it doesn't have to be equal. It needs to be in a good space. It needs to come from a good heart. So what the divine masculine is giving to the divine feminine, she will give it back in return to him. You know, I hear not only about giving and receiving, but also the time they spend together is a special time. It's not a time to take for granted. So she receives what she needs to receive. He receives what he needs to receive. Okay. What does his higher self telling him about himself? And that he is teaching. Even when he is not working, he is this teacher. And he knows this. He is very happy when he can spread his knowledge, when he has an audience that listens to him, but also exchange energy on the same level, or even on a different kind of level, but that it's being received, and that it's being received in appreciation, and that's what is in him. He is that teacher. He wants to teach people. He wants to that people evolve and elevate in everything what they do. So that is what his higher self saying about himself, you know, that he is made for this. And that's the part. I also feel that okay, I also hear that he has a loyal audience when he's teaching. He only wants to teach people that really want to do the work, because if they don't do the work, he's not teaching them. So they need to be loyal. They need to be loyal to what he's saying, and honoring, protecting, also protecting the teachings that he is giving. So that is one side of it, you know. Yeah, I feel that's a really really good explanation what I hear from spirit. And it's a very, very old soul. Many, many lives, many lifetimes. There are still lifetimes he didn't discover. That's beautiful. There are still lifetimes he didn't discover yet. And it's so worth discovering, because there are so many lifetimes he spent with equal souls. So it would be really elevating for him and opening up more and opening up and more understanding the past in this life. So that will teach him also. So it would be a double, I almost wanted to say a double Dutch, but someone is kidding again. But it's also double, you know, exchange, what is coming towards him. You know, it's, I feel the high priest path that he's walking, the priest path that he's walking, is really giving him even more insights and more knowledge about past lives, because there's so much more to discover. I hear it goes beyond time and space. Okay. What is his higher self telling him about the divine feminine? Magic. That she is full of magic. That she is fire and water. When she starts to open the magic box, there is so much more coming out of it. There is more knowledge in this box, what she isn't opening, and not opening for many people, because it's for her to contain. But his higher self saying there is so much magic and there is so much magician in her and magic power in her that he didn't see in the first, because she is talking about visions, she's talking about what she's seeing, but she's not, she never talks about the sacred things, about the things that is really magical and her magical powers. She is not talking about that. She is talking about how you can change and how you can see things from different level. But he knows, and his higher self says, you know, watch out for this one, because she is so magical and she is more powerful than you ever thought she would be, because she has the 4 queens in her. And she closed that box for a long time, not be able to acknowledge herself, I hear. And now this box is opening and she is not afraid to use it. And it's out of love, but she's also electrifying and able to do a lot more. She's able to do a lot more. And that is, and she uses it in love. No, there is no harmful bone in her body. The only thing that she is doing with words and with magic is teaching and protecting. And that's all what she's doing. And but if she needs to use it for protection, you bet she's able to do it. You know, and she is not thinking about anymore that it is dark magic. Because if there is dark magic coming towards you, because out of jealousy or out of spite or out of anything else, she can protect herself. And she learned that from the divine masculine. You're able to protect yourself. You're able to do this. You know, I don't have to protect your interest. You know, in some cases I do, and I will do it for you. But you are so strong and so powerful, you can do it on your own. So that's how he's seeing her. And because of it, she manifests everything in her life. She manifests the love, she manifests the abundance, she manifests the creation, she manifests miracles, she manifests magic. And that's what he sees, what's happening with her, and that she made this huge transformation. And that she is still doing it in love, and that she is very happy and very content with her life. And that is what he's supporting. You know, he wants her to open that box more, that she is more open about her knowledge. That's what his higher self is saying. Please, I want to know more about your knowledge. One thing I can say about the divine feminine, that she is going way beyond your imagination. And she challenged him to go into that imagination of him, to travel further and travel further back to other lifetimes, so he can know and see what she's talking about. So she is challenging him to see this. So how does he see the relationship with the divine feminine? That it needs dedicated work and effort. It needs time, it needs work, it needs finesse. And the love is already there, you know, the love is already there, but it needs working. You can't do, you can't start a relationship without doing any work. That's impossible. You know, if you think that you can step into a relationship and don't have to do any work, wow, you know, you better stay in the 3D then. You know, in that little world out there where we say goodbye to. You know, everything needs time, compassion, care, love, attention, you know, and doing things for each other. And that's what, you know, that's the card of giving and receiving. So if you're in separation with your divine masculine, you know, if you do your work, you also do the work for your divine masculine. And you see him change. I have so many clients that say, when I'm doing the work, I see my divine masculine change. And if I do sending him love, sending him compassion, and I'm doing my work and I'm healing my parts, then it will be easier to come into union, because the next time we see each other, it's more easy. It's more fluid. You know, we can stay in our own space. We can stay in our inner center. As long as the divine feminine is doing the work and the divine masculine isn't doing the work, it's not going to work. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever, ever. So there needs to be done equal work. Give and take. Give and receive. You know, it's giving and receiving. It's not taking, because taking is out of the third dimensional realm. I start to purge already for that energy from the divine masculine, from the third dimensional realm. So it's never, you know, taking from the divine feminine. It's always giving and receiving. Okay? And the divine masculine will receive much more from the divine feminine than he expects. You know, if you have no expectations, what your divine feminine will give to you, and you have expectations, and you have needs in your life, you know, and when you are in a good contact with your divine feminine, ask, you know, for what your needs are. Ask her, you know, this is what I need in my life. Try to understand, to let her understand how you feel and what you need in your life. And maybe she meets that point. Maybe she needs that to hear. So she can say to herself, okay, I'm able to give you that. Or, you know, I'm not going to step in that in that space, and I'm not able to give you that because it's not in my system. It's not, you know, if you have a feminine that can't nurture, and you want nurturing in your life, you know, then you're having the wrong person in front of you. Because if a woman can't nurture you, what you need, you can't, she can't give it to you, because too many traumas of her own, you know. If there is for instance a sexual need, and she can't give it to you, wow, what would that be, you know? That's sleeping with a, oh my gosh, are you really want me to say this? You're sleeping with a corpse, you know. It's oh my god, I get the visuals. No, don't do this. Yeah, you know, it's when it's one-sided, you know, you just get your gratification out of it, and the other person is just on ice, right? Because there are no feelings, there's no heart connection. So oh my gosh, sleeping with a corpse, and they show me right away the death card, right? So I see that skeleton there, that skeleton laying there, and it's like totally frantic and can't do anything. So yeah, if that's in your space, and you know, and that's what you need as a masculine, and the divine feminine can't give it, you know, it won't work. Because then you will at a time as a masculine, you will search for what you really need in your lifetime, and that's good, you know, to discuss it when you're in this phase, you know, when it's not when you are meeting each other, you really need to know each other's needs. And if you need a spiritual person in your life, you know, you have to search for that spiritual, or wait for that spiritual, because it never comes the way you want it in the spiritual world. You know, your divine masculine is coming in your presence, is coming in your aura, is coming in your environment, or he's coming there to align with you or teach you lessons, or it's there to stay. So but you know, there is communication needed about, you know, to see if you're compatible. You know, can you meet each other in that line that you want, if you want a union, of if you want a relationship or not. That doesn't matter, but you need to meet each other. And you know, it's also about, you know, the heart connection. And that's why it's needed for the divine masculine to go back to former lifetimes, to see what happened in that time, to come closer, you know. What is his uncomfortability and blocks during this union? Dark fears. Fears of rejection, fear of being abandoned, fear of not being good enough, fear. Fear, fear, fear. Fear of the past, you know, his past, fear of maybe her past, and that doesn't align with each other. All kinds of fears that is coming into his headspace. Go to that empty space and ask your higher self. And you know what your higher self was saying. So believe your higher self and get your ego overboard. You know? Maybe creating fear. To see how the feminine is reacting on fear. You know? And well, you can try it as much as you can. But if she is shielded by this, if she's shielded and she manifests her magic around her, it won't do her anything. It will go back in threefold. So, you know, this is what is happening with darkness. You know, darkness is keeping you stuck, is keeping you locked up in your own box. You're missing out on love and happiness. You're missing out of chances in this world. So really huge chances in this world. So you know, on every level, you know, you need to be in this space of you know, releasing your darkest fears. And a lot of masculines are working on it, because a lot of masculines wants to come in union because they already seen or met the divine feminine, and you know, they want to release it, and they're working on it, and they trying, and you know, I see it all around me. And that's a huge shift for the divine masculine. But this is blocking his union. And it's so funny what I see with the masculines. And many masculines around me, and when I see the masculines, they get so intimidated by the strength of the divine feminine that sometimes they don't know where to look anymore, and they getting all this jittering energy about them, this nervous energy about them, don't know how to address them, don't know what to say to them, and then you really see the courage of men. What happened with their courage? You know, then they're going back into that in that frantic mode of nervousness, and then the whole their courage is gone. They don't even, they're looking at you, but they don't really want to look, because they're too intimidated by the divine feminine. So and I also see masculines, but those are the younger ones. They are just stepping into spirituality, that are really opening up and really taking the courage and the leap of faith of like, wow, you know, this is really matching. We are really synchronizing with each other, and this is amazing. And then both of the energies opening up, you know, and everything starts to flow. So, and it has to do with the courage and releasing the ego. And sometimes because the masculine learned from such a long time that it's just about the logic and not about the intuition. So it's very hard for the divine masculine to leave that logic and ego space, you know. Okay. How is he going to solve this? Let's see. It's how we say it in the Netherlands, een gebed zonder end. It's a prayer without ending. With the fear of the masculine, because it's so deep. It's such a deep fear. Also, they're being used by the darkness. You know, they are used. You know, they are really getting used, and now they're starting to realize that they've been used from childhood, you know, to do what another person says that would be the right thing to do, and they still get not the acknowledgement that they deserve, not from the mothers, not from the fathers, and not from the environment, not from the workspace. And that could be a very hard space to work out. And that creates darkness around the divine masculine. It creates the heaviness, it creates the blocks, it creates coldness, you know, because they have so many disappointments that they are shutting themselves off. And when they shut themselves off, they're coming in that place of, I don't care anymore, you know. And when they in that place of I don't care anymore, they know it's the darkness. They know it's another energy, because in the heart space they know they're love. In the heart space they know they're a good person, but that darkness keep them there in that space. And when they getting in that cold space of, you know, I don't care anymore, they really don't care about anything. But when they meet their match, you know, then the other person would say, it's enough, you know, you go your own way, and I'm raising my standards, and I'm not dealing with your shit and your darkness anymore. So that's what's going on at the moment with a lot of masculine, and it will and especially in this time, because you know, we're shifting from one year to another calendar year, from the Mayans that really ruled our world for many years. So what is he going to do about it? Let's see what he is going to do about his darkest fears. Because of that darkest fear, you know, he's going to lose everything around him. not only the feminine, but also, you know, work related, you know, not getting any other chances, not, you know, it could be that they have to be careful on the road, you know, all these kind of things, because that loop is going on and on and on, and you're going in the dark, in the spiral. Whoa, I start to feel it. In my body, you know, you're going into the heartache, and everything is, you need to get your mindset, because everything that is coming your way, you know, I also see on the road, you know, you're not able to concentrate anymore, your energy is slipping away and things like that. And yeah, what he needs to do about this is just breathe. Sit down, quiet your mind, breathe and meditate. Go to the light. Give yourself space. Go to that energy of where the divine feminine is. In that breathing, in that light, in that love, in that nothingness, you know, in the space of nothingness. And when you're in the space of nothingness, you can even handle the devil. In that space of nothingness, you can even fight away the devil. Doesn't matter how many tricks he put on you. He just fucking disappears. Okay? So that's what happens when you're breathing. When you're going in meditation. When he is, you know, when you're in that stillness. In that space of just being here, instead of in your head all the time, and meditate, then you also receive your own abundance. You don't have to work for it. It will come to you. Okay? Because that's what you deserve. It's the biggest and the highest thing. If you give back to Mother Nature what you're receiving, you receive back in threefold, even more. Because they see how much you do for it. So breathe, go into that nothingness, go into that loving space. Be there, be content. You know, Divine Feminine can help you with it. She's already breathing for you. Even if you don't realize, she is breathing for you to get there in that space. Okay? Okay, what does his higher self want from this union? What does this higher self want from this union? And just, you know, these are general readings. These are general readings. And sometimes it resonates, sometimes it don't. Take out of it what's for you. And no, I'm going into the nothing space. That's not a good thing. If I want to give you a reading, guys. Yeah. So leave it all there, because then there's nothing. Okay, just I would say just breathe. Just breathe. And what is his higher self wants from these unions? Daydreams and decisions. You know, you made a decision, and it could be that you made a decision and you have to stick with that decision, you know. It could be because of the decision that you made, could only be for the highest good of you, you know, your highest good. Could be of okay, I also hear there's a karma behind it. So the decision you made is made out of a karmic bond, is made out of a karmic situation you need to learn from. And you have to see and find for yourself how that works out. You know, if you make a decision maybe to leave house, or leave your family, or you know, whatever decision you make, you know, it's about, yeah, karma. You know, it's about karma. And sometimes you don't know what your karma is till you're in there. And then you're thinking, oh my fucking shit, what have I done? I'm in the wrong relationship. Why did I cheat? Why did I go there? Why did I go into that space? You know, I'm worse off than I was. Because now I don't have anything. I have no freedom. I have no life. Everything will be decided for me. I'm getting controlled. And my life was, if I look back to it, easy. But there was no communication. And you can't communicate if you're on a spiritual higher level with people from a third dimensional realm. It's not possible. I can tell you it's one thing, it's boring. Because you're talking about small stuff. You don't talk about deeper stuff because the ego won't let it, because they don't want to get vulnerable. So you have to get out of that space, and it's just what you want. You know, you make choices, and now you're daydreaming about other life. You're probably, for a lot of masculines that are going into another relationship, they're now daydreaming about the relationship they had with the divine feminine. You know, they're daydreaming how their life was. They're daydreaming how it could be. They're daydreaming how sexual it was, how good the union was, how what they all received instead of that was taken from them, and how hard the feminine did her work to make it work for them. And now that daydreaming starts, and then you know, they made a decision that was made by ego. So this is what the higher self says about the union. You know, this is what you get if you don't listen to the higher self, if you don't listen to you know, and go in that wounded space of rejection and neglect and that kind of thing. So, but it's all for the better, because you're growing out, you're growing. and it only takes you to the heart space, you know. It will take you to the heart space, opening up the heart space. And if you have a divine feminine, a good divine feminine, she will give you a second chance, you know, because she understands what's going on. But for a lot of other people, you know, you won't get a second chance. And even when they're, you know, when they're not in alignment, there are no second chances. When you're not in alignment, there are no second chances. Don't go there. Just you know, to also for the divine feminine, you know, even your divine masculine comes in and he says, oh, I miss you, I miss your warmth, I want to lay next to you, or I want to have sex with you for one more last time. Don't do it, you know. And now when in the community where we are in, you know, and I need to say that, I really need to say that, because the masculines who are not vaccinated, their semen will be worth gold, because they will receive the star children. They will receive the star children, because their seed is gold. So that needs to get out. Okay. So last, what combines them? What combines them? Last question. What combines them? New vitality. The rainbow energy, going beyond rainbows, going beyond magic, making fun, making music, having pleasure, creating new energy, going to another space, working out, you know, doing all the things you want to do in your life. And this new vitality that is combining them both. They're, you know, they're sparkling. They're both sparkling. And that is what combines them and what will bring them together, and that was creating the magic. You know, this is magical. It's a magical, that's what Spirit says. Magic will come into your life, in both of your life, to create new vitality in this relationship. You know, go to a higher frequency. So guys, this was it for this week with the full moon reading. It's for the full moon. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. And sorry guys if people are offended about the way I'm reading. It's the truth. And that's just, you have to look within yourself. If you can't handle the truth, don't watch my videos, you know, because something within you will be triggered. That's for sure. That's for sure. Because I'm not here to make the sweet cookies and, you know, pat your back or stick the feathers in your bum that doesn't need there. Because some people are just bitches, you know, and that's what I need to say. Because that's in their system, that's their darkness. And yeah, sorry if I offend you, but then you just go to another reader, you know, if you feel better. So yeah, and most of the time, if because that's the message I needed to say from Spirit. That means that there are people watching, cross watchers, or you know, the divine, or a feminine that you know, that wants to harm, or to want to have knowledge about you, you know, you go and do your heavenly thing, and we don't give a fuck. So also for the divine masculine, who's angry, who is full of resentment, who is full of feeling sad and lonely and pitiful for themselves, you know, sorry, don't watch my videos. So with this said, I wish you all a very happy weekend. We're going to the end of the weekend still. We have 30 and 32 degrees. So I wish you all the best, and have a wonderful time. And if you want a private reading from me, you know how to find me in the description box below. Like my videos, and let me know where you are as a divine masculine in your journey. And I hope you're doing well. With love and blessings, always with love and blessings. And from my heart to your heart. Bye bye.